Hey everyone, this is Neil at the Ski Monster going over Burton Step On. One of the most common questions we get around Step On is it actually worth it? We've ridden it a bunch over the past few seasons, different locations, different conditions, and the short answer is yes, it absolutely is. This is a really good setup that has a lot of cool things going on that definitely make it worth it. There's a few things about it that we really enjoy. The first being the convenience factor of it. You'll notice right away, there's no straps on these bindings. They look quite a bit different from what you may be used to. But with that comes a little bit more convenience getting in and out of them. So you have a few points of connection, 2 on the toe of the boot, and then 1 on the back. All 3 of these line up with connection points in the binding perfectly. So you really just step in with your heel and then forward with your toes, and you're locked in. So for someone like me that's with skiers a lot of the time, getting off the lift and stepping in without having to stop, bend over, strap into my bindings is really, really nice. Getting out is just as easy. Flip up the release lever and step forward. I never really thought like bending over in strap bindings and strapping in would be a complaint of mine. It's easy enough, not that big of a deal. But honestly, after using this quite a few times, it's really, really nice to not have to. The next piece that's important to talk about with these is how good the connection to the boot actually is. The cleats that you have in the binding are specifically engineered for this boot, so the connection between the two is perfect. The heel cleat lines up with the high back in a way that connects the two and gives you a really responsive feel through riding that you wouldn't otherwise get in a normal binding. That lets this high back move with the boot, toe side, heel side turns the same, and the connection to the boot is solid all the way around. So the connection gives you a really responsive feel. Everything feels super precise and really solid and locked in. I had a generation prior of the step-on bindings that I rode a bunch, 100+ days, and towards the end of my time using those, the toe cleats had started to feel like there was maybe a little bit of play. There's been an update to the step-on bindings with these updated toe hooks that just grab the toe cleats on the boot a little bit better and stay locked in for the life of the boot and binding. So a much better setup here. The update was great and works really, really well. As far as safety is concerned, which is another question that comes up around step-on bindings, all the safety features that you need are there. They're plenty safe and secure. Like I said, we've ridden them all over the place, deep powder, harsh East Coast conditions, slushy springtime conditions, and have never had any issues. So usual things that you would do with your normal bindings, like clearing snow out of the tray here, are still important. But as far as security and safety goes, there's no concern at all. These boots and bindings come in a couple different options depending on the level of performance you want, how you want the flex to feel, depending on your riding ability, things like that. Which will change the price point a little bit. But the other really nice thing about the setup is the price is really similar to what you'd get out of a traditional binding and a traditional boot. For example, the Photon BOA boot and Cartel X binding, the total that you would pay for this setup is literally $10 less than you would pay for the Photon Step-On boot and the traditional step-on binding. So not a huge price difference, and you get a lot more convenience and a lot more response out of the setup. It works really well and we're stoked about it. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to one of our gear experts or visit us in Boston for an appointment.